This video is sponsored by Deep Cut Studios. For a wide range of fantastic gaming resources such as battle mats, dice trays and pre-painted bases, check out the description below.
Nellie Cochran? Oh, you mean the reporter from the Tattler? Oh, I know all about Nellie. She is a woman with a heart of gold and a fierce determination, always aiming to get to the truth no matter what. Too bad she's a tool of the guild, as that critic of hers, Polly Sage Quid, keeps saying. I mean, to be fair, that was a lot of money they offered Nellie to work for them. And there are plenty of other organizations besides the guild that are rife with corruption and worthy of being reported on. And the people working under her don't seem to mind. I mean, there's Fiona Gage, a former union worker who was left in the cold after the prosthetic she received gave her rather significant anger issues. She now works for Nellie as muscle and is a living symbol of the corruption of the union. There's also Allison Dade, another damn good reporter. Although I suspect she won't be a reporter for long, or even breathing for long, if she doesn't stop asking questions about what happened in Innocence. And there is also her printing press. She made her printing press into a mechanical automata, powered by a soul stone she actually found on her daddy's dead body, which might explain why the printing press tends to be rather protective of the lady. Perhaps whatever's left of her daddy still wants to protect his little girl. With them and her team of field reporters, undercover reporters, and young newsies, Nellie does whatever she must to reveal the hidden corruption in Malifaux. As long as it's not related to the guild, of course.
Hi guys, welcome back to our Malifaux Masters Breakdown, where we showcase the factions and personalities vying for soulstones and dominance in the Broken City. Today's episode covers the tricky guildmaster Nellie and her army of journalists who are hunting for their next big scoop. Nellie's main mechanics revolve around her forcing opposing models to take the interact action with their headline secrets revealed trigger, even if they're engaged. From here, much of the journalist keyword possesses the chasing a story ability, which allows them to gain a focus, with your master having a souped up version that draws a card in addition. To make matters worse, should a journalist be within 2 inches of an opposing interact action, they can actually take control of it for friendly purposes using their exclusive interview ability, which can be used to hijack enemy scheming and point scoring. As you might expect, the journalist keyword aren't the most suited to direct close combat, meaning that they have a variety of ways to debuff incoming attacks through manipulative, armor, and status conditions such as slow and distracted, ensuring that they can hold on long enough to get those crucial insider knowledge tips. Front and centre of your forces is the master Nellie Cochran, a control piece that excels at disrupting enemy forces and positioning. Her attack actions both come in at an 8-inch range, but don't let that fool you, as Nellie will be up close and personal to take advantage of her exclusive interview ability, as well as the damage flip on her one more question attack. In addition, her bonus action Get the Story grants some phenomenal movement to allies within 6 inches of a scheme marker, as well as debuffing through distracted. Finally, Nellie has a wealth of protective measures that she can take should she come under fire, the principal of which will be her squeal defensive trigger, allowing a hasty 3-inch reposition should the pressure get too much. Joining Nellie in her crusade is the printing press, an insignificant enforcer totem that comes with the always invaluable arcane reservoir ability, allowing you to play with an increased hand size. The automaton is relatively sturdy thanks to its 2 points of armour and features an excellent reposition ability called Hot Off the Presses, which can be used on friend or foe for a 4-inch reposition and burning. Moving on to Henchmen, the journalist keyword has 2 very different options for you to choose from, with the first being the 9 soulstone Fiona Gage, a sturdy beater that benefits from positive flips whenever she's near to a scheme marker. Fiona's Take the Hit and I've Got Your Back abilities make her excellent at pulling allies out of trouble, while she can also force opposing repositions with her Bring It attack, pulling a victim in from 12 inches range before following it up with her modified pickaxe, which can ignore opposing positive flips from focus and other statuses. For these reasons, you'll find Gage front and centre of the journalist crew, anchoring down with a nearby scheme marker ready to deal with any unwanted assailants and absorb damage through her 10 wounds and her armour. Alongside Fiona, you have the option of Allison Dade, a mini version of Nellie who can again mess with opposing positioning and conditions. Dade does bring some interesting new tools with her new You Were Going to Do That and Plot Is Afoot abilities, which allow her to turn triggers off and gain fast from opposing revealed schemes respectively. She's also not afraid to get her hands dirty from a safe distance thanks to her Derringer handgun, which can do heavy damage to an isolated target if it hits its No Witnesses trigger. Unlike her burly compatriot, Alicent is best left for later activations in a turn, biding her time before setting up slow on opposing forces for the next turn. Outside of the printing press, Nellie is also able to hire another enforcer in the form of an undercover reporter, a sneaky character that can deploy buried before popping out next to an enemy minion and sending them back to their deployment zone. The reporter is relentless thanks to its deadly pursuit and follower lead abilities, as well as being able to weather the storm in combat by being disguised and hiding in its barrel. Most notable of all though is the amazing prepared explosives trigger on its arson attack, which allows you to detonate any scheme marker on the board for 2 damage and burning after a movement 12 test. If it's minions that you're looking for, the journalist keyword has some incredibly versatile schemers available, starting with the 6 Soulstone field reporters. These models offer damage and card drain for activations started and ended near to them, while also being protected by Serene Countenance and 6 wounds. Follower lead allows them to remove scheme markers for a free 6-inch move, meaning they can cover 16 inches on the battlefield on their activations alone. When the reporter isn't scheming on the wings, they can harry the opponent with their flash photography, which provides distracted and staggered through a stat 6 willpower duel. So as you may have noticed, Nellie's crew requires a fair few scheme markers to run, making AP efficiency critical if you're struggling to nail down an interview target. Enter the False Witness then, a shared elite model that comes with an exceptional false claim tactical action, which can critically drop 2 scheme markers where you need them within 3 inches at a cost of removing a friendly scheme in the end phase. The Witness is also excellent at assailing enemies up close thanks to its distraction willpower debuff and J'accuse attack, which can add adversary and damage if the opponent engages you. The False Witness is an excellent facilitator of both the undercover and field reporters, feeding them scheme markers to remove for their follower lead bonus actions. Finally, we have the little newsies, cheap 4 Soulstone minions that are able to throw out range distracted thanks to a well-placed newspaper to the face. These models synergize well with Nellie's Slow News Day tactical action, which adds stun to any models who gain distracted within 8 inches of the master. Furthermore, while the newsies might not be the most sturdy of models in your crew, they are able to chip in with Soulstone replenishment thanks to their frantic search ability when they're near a corpse marker. These guys are all about annoyance for the opponent, especially if their newspaper triggers go the right way. On the tabletop, the journalist keyword excels at denying opposing schemes and strategies, especially those that require the interact action by name. Exclusive interview can be a commanding ability, though it does necessitate being up close to the opposing forces. Schemes and strategies that revolve around the range placement of markers in the opposing half are the bread and butter of Nellie's points, as are those that require holding the centre of the board thanks to your henchmen. In most games, keeping focus high through chasing a story, as well as slow and distracted conditions on enemies should keep you alive long enough to execute your plans. In addition, activation order for manipulative models can also be really important in avoiding early deaths. However, it should be noted that the crew excels at out of activation movement, meaning you can set up these pieces earlier in a turn without losing that defensive tech. Naturally, there are areas where the journalist crew faces some problems, principally the sheer amount of text and abilities on their cards, creating a steep learning curve for new players. This can be offset by taking copies of minions to reduce variance, but it can be frustrating if you forget a key ability at a critical moment. Furthermore, the wording of the interact action itself can be less beneficial than first seen, as an enemy can always choose to remove markers even if there are none to target. If you find yourself facing Nellie and her journalistic allies, fear not, there are a number of ways that you can gain the edge. Firstly, shockwaves and auras offer a great way to maximise damage on the often bunched up core crew, while condition removal can go some way into levelling the playing field in duels. Models with Ruthless can freely tear through many of the journalist defences, while some factions even have mass scheme marker removal which can turn the tide once Nellie's closed in. Finally, here you can find a fluffy starter list for Nellie's crew, featuring the Henchmen, Totem and False Witness as your centre anchor, while the reporters harry the wings to score schemes and distract enemies. Nellie can operate freely around the board, singling out high-profile damage dealers with her One More Question ability, and using Soul Stones to incite betrayal charges thanks to her twisting their ideals. Once you've grown in confidence with this list, then you can consider some of the guild versatile models such as the Pale Rider, Peacekeeper and Guild Steward for some extra punch and healing where needed. So that brings us to the end of this Malifaux Master breakdown. We hope it's been useful in giving you a snapshot of its crew and their mechanics. A massive thank you in addition to the vocal talents of the wonderful Arvandus during the video's intro. You can find more of his excellent lore content in the links in the description below. For more talk about Malifaux and its masters, why not check out our podcast, The Harlefaux Show, where we break down each keyword and why you should play it. Alternatively, we have a wealth of beginner-friendly battle reports here on the channel that guide players through every flip and decision. Whichever you choose, we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, folks. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching our content. It means the world to us. If you'd like to see some more videos, they should be over here. And if you'd like to support our channel, keep these lights on. You can find links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. See you later.